Bulls Nation, welcome to the field, your USF Bulls. The University of South Florida, in partnership with Cincinnati alumni and fans, has initiated the Field Spectacle campaign aimed at providing a higher level of pride, sportsmanship, and honor. Bring forth the players, coaches, and fans of our opponents with great respect and the wonderful hospitality that can and will be the hallmark of Bulls everywhere. And it's now time for starting lineups. First, we're visiting the Cincinnati Bearcats. Number 0, Madison, West. Number 3, Cassie, Logan. Number 5, Sophie, Foreman. Number 6, Vanessa, Leonardo. Number 8, Brady, Thompson. Number 9, Sydney, Pilger. Number 13, Amy, Metzger. Number 15, Jill, Batiste. Number 17, Kiki, Noel. Number 27, Bree, Constance. And number 22, Riley, Jordan. Head coach for Cincinnati is Neil Sanford, and assisted by Matt Coxey, Dan McLeod, and Sunday Wiggler.
On this Thursday evening, we welcome you to Tampa, Florida. The Bearcats of Cincinnati are in town. They handed the Bulls their only loss in conference play 1 year ago, looking to keep the good times rolling on the road this year in Tampa. Meanwhile, the Bulls of USF trying to climb up the standings. They finished as the number 2 seed a year ago, would go on to capture the automatic bid in the NCAA tournament, trying to position themselves once again here in 2018. Just their third match now of the year as we enter this final month of conference play. Lincoln Rose along with Kit McConico. And Kit, it is just the third match now for the top 25 ranked USF Bulls in conference play. How do they find momentum with a victory here at home against a tough Bearcat squad?
Well, they're the top scoring team in the country, almost 4 goals a game, a torrid pace offensively, but it is going to be a tough road to hoe against the Bearcats. A stingy defense for Cincinnati should make for a great matchup.
We take a look at the keys for the Bearcats as they look to claim their second straight win in as many years against USF.
Cincinnati, it's a young team. It's about keep building, trying to find their identity, laying that groundwork, and seeking consistency. A loss, a win, a loss, and a draw in their first 4 conference games.
For the Bulls, this is the top offense in the nation coming into tonight. How do they continue to build and bounce back?
Well, tough loss on the road. They fell at Temple on Sunday 1-0 in double overtime. The good news is they have a home field advantage here at Corbett Stadium, 4-0, and they've outscored their opponents 18-1 in the last 3 home games.
Well, the Bearcats, they are coming off a draw against Houston. It was almost a loss, but they salvaged that point thanks to Jill Viteri.
Viteri's been outstanding, leads the Bearcats 4 goals and 3 assists, and gives them important senior leadership for a very young team.
She rebounded her own missed penalty with 2 seconds left in regulation to force overtime before the 1-1 draw. And, well, when you talk about the Bulls, you talk about some international influence. How about a young lady from Iceland?
Andrea Hofstadter has been outstanding. Evelyn Vian, the leader in the nation in goals per game, but it's Andrea Hofstadter. She's the one in the midfield who pulls the strings, really controls things for the Bulls.
Again, the Bulls right now sitting at number 25 in the nation. Just their third match early in their conference slate, but they are looking to defend their home pitch tonight on ADN.
How do you drive impact for 200 years? By doing it boldly. By building a bridge, breaking a barrier, planting a flag, owning a stage. Because here, we learn by doing and believe the status quo was built to be broken. So be proud, be bold, be Cincinnati. We're 2 centuries in, and we're still creating what's next. We are boldly Bearcat.
The perfect setting for college soccer here in October as we ring in the fall. We welcome you back in on the American Digital Network. Well, your preseason Offensive Player of the Year, Evelyn Vian, living up to expectations, leading the nation in goals per match and points per match. Already a hat trick for the Canadian earlier this year as well. Moments away from opening kick between the Bulls and those Bearcats. Looking to pick up a victory. Already a win over Tulsa, a draw against Houston, came up short against SMU. Lincoln Rose, Kit McConico with you, and for the first time today, a chance to check in with Despina and McLaughlin. Despina?
Hey guys, I talked to both head coaches, and for Cincinnati and Coach Stafford, he knows he has to slow down Evelyn, and that's going to be key. They're going to clog the middle and try to set the tempo with a very young group. As far as USF and talking to Coach Shilty Brown, she says that she knows that's what's coming. She's going to ask her girls to be patient, to break the press, swing the ball, and get them tired out so their offense can start rolling here tonight. Of course, we are going to interact with you all evening on social media, send out polls, ask your questions. We want you guys to participate because, you know, we're not the only ones having fun out here. We know you guys at home are watching as well. So we certainly have a great one on deck, guys. And the conditions, absolutely beautiful here for this American Conference Showdown, guys.
Despina, thank you very much, and we do look forward to checking back in with Despina. She will have a variety of trivia and news and notes that will allow our viewers to interact with us here on our broadcast on the American Digital Network. Meanwhile, the Bulls getting fired up moments away from opening kick.
Oh, it should be a fantastic matchup. You mentioned Cincinnati, the only team to beat USF in conference play a year ago. The Bulls 4-0 here at home, the top scoring offense in the entire nation. For Cincinnati, a very young team. They've started 4 and even 5 freshmen at times this season. They're going to have to weather the storm. USF is going to throw numbers forward. They're going to put pressure on that goal and see if they can come up with the opener.
That was the senior Jordan Tuttle trying to get the Bulls of Denise Schulte-Brown's squad fired up. Hard to believe Coach Schulte-Brown already her 12th year at the helm. Of course, her husband, Chris Brown, the associate head coach, after those two came over from Virginia Commonwealth over a decade ago. And what a success story this marriage has been between the Browns and USF. As last year they captured that overtime thriller on PKs to claim the American Conference Tournament Championship and the automatic bid to the NCAA tournament.
What a fantastic job Coach Denise Schulte-Brown has done at USF. Has really made the Bulls into a powerhouse, perennially in the top 25. Always a pleasure to speak with her. She's pleased with this team. They have the offensive firepower. She likes to play an attractive brand of soccer, likes to move the ball quickly and put it in the back of the net.
Just the second ever head coach that the Bulls have known. Her Bulls are 4-0 this year at home after going 7-1 here in Tampa last year. It is a home pitch where it is tough to take any points away from USF, but the Bearcats, remember, they are the only team to hand the Bulls that loss 1 year ago. That's still fresh on the minds of a lot of these returning players. Underway in the opening half. And the Bearcats come in with a tough schedule already. Number 8, Virginia. Number 16, Kansas. Number 10, Auburn. All in non-conference play, and now up against number 25, USF.
And the Bearcats have played some of the best teams in the country. This young team, they've gotten experience early on. It'll be interesting to see how they come out, how they take to this match in the first 10 to 15 minutes, try to establish themselves with some possession. They don't want to be on their back heels all match long. They know that USF is going to have chances. They know the Bulls are going to get a lot of shots.
Well, Neil Stafford's in his 6th year at the helm, but he calls it year 1 of phase 2 of his master plan. And, well, the future is now. He has 8 true freshmen on this roster. All 8 have made at least 1 start, and we regularly will see for Neil anywhere from 4 to 5 freshmen in his starting lineup.
What an amazing job he's done there. 5 straight winning seasons. When he took over the program, they were ranked, 230, and now last year the highest ranking of number 11. It's absolutely an amazing job from Coach Stafford.
USF just tossed one in, and it'll be back over to the Bearcats, who will win a throw now. You know, Coach Stafford would love for this match to be taking place in Cincinnati on a Sunday. He has still never lost a home match with the Bearcats on a Sunday at home. 23-0-4.
That's why they call it Sunday Fun Day, at least in Cincinnati.
Yeah, not much fun for anybody who makes the trek to Ohio. They'll work it around the back line. That's Cheyenne Dennis, the sophomore out of Sunrise, Florida, making her 4th start of the year. A regular starter last year as well as a true freshman. They'll work it up the middle. This is Nicello. Out wide and a tad heavy, as it'll be a throw deep from their own 3rd. As you see a lot of the students coming out to cheer on the Bulls, opting to take in the look from the berm.
That's a good ball. You like the idea, sending it inside and then out wide, looking for that pass to swing across into the box.
As the ball will trickle in to the feet of Bearcat goalkeeper Madison Less. She becomes the first goalkeeper to register 7 starts this year, has been splitting time with Claudia Eustachio. The sophomore out of Ohio gets the start today, ahead of Eustachio, the junior out of Ontario. And again, the Bulls this year averaging 3.4 goals per match. Number 1 in the nation. Looking for some early fireworks. Meanwhile, the Bearcats, if they can get to halftime, even in a scoreless match, they'll be ahead of schedule from what we've seen from them this year. In conference play, the Bearcats been playing uphill battles. They have conceded 7 first-half goals in conference, have yet to score their first on the year overall competition. trailing 12-2 at the half.
Yeah, that's not a trend they want to continue. They've gone into the halftime locker room trailing 1-0 6 times in 13 matches. In those 6 contests, they have a 4-1-1 overall record, but Coach Stafford knows they need to play better in the first 45.
Opportunity right down the spine, but again, tad heavy. Falling on it for the Bearcats will be Bree Costigan. Starting all 14 matches now with center back, the junior out of Fenton, Michigan. And a stress-free stop for Madison Less.
Nicely won ball there from the Bulls in that final third, and that's really where they want to dominate. The center third and that final third of the pitch. Keep that high line, win the ball back in dangerous territory, continue to keep the pressure on the Bearcats' defense.
Only Memphis has a better RPI among American women's soccer programs. Memphis at number 14 in the country, and boy, have they had results this year. An early surprise team. USF trying to accumulate some points here in just their 3rd match in conference play, shutting out UConn 4-0, but then falling to Temple in the 2nd overtime period in Philadelphia this past week.
That was a really tough loss, that loss to Temple in double overtime. They had 9 corners, 3 dangerous free kicks, but ultimately Temple was able to ground out the victory. And that's kind of what Cincinnati's going to be looking to do here tonight. They're going to take that template from the Owls and see if they can come up with a win on the road.
Well, we're spending a lot of time on the defensive half with Cincinnati. They'll tap it up ahead. A little congestion surrounding Gruenbaum. And a giveaway. Opportunity here, and at the last second, a nice tackle by Kiki Lowell.
Massive tackle, possibly a goal-saving tackle from Kiki Lowell. Goes to ground, always dangerous when you do it inside the 18. Have to make a perfect tackle, did in that case. USF continuing to bring numbers forward and applying the pressure.
Less in goal, giving up just shy of 2 goals per 90 minutes. The sophomore has not seen one cross her line as of yet here on the road. Bearcats looking for their first quality chance. Again, Sydney Martinez is in goal for the Bulls. Not tested as of yet. Martinez, the freshman out of Georgia. And the Bearcats struggling with some spacing here early on.
The Bearcats without the services of Carly Royer, their sophomore from Ohio. The fastest player on this team was injured early in the season. They haven't had her, and it's been a big loss, quite frankly. They have Kilgore, who has great pace as well, but speed, one of those things you can't teach.
Nice turn inside the 18, and that one will just go across the far post off the right foot of the nation's most prolific attacker in Evelyn Vienne.
Who else but number 14, Evelyn Vienne, the junior from Canada. Dangerous, very tight angle, still able to get a good shot.
You were talking the absence of Royer for Cincinnati. Without Royer a year ago, they don't beat USF. She had that Olympic goal, the corner kick goal in the 88th minute to topple USF 1-0. Here is a corner now for the Bulls. And at the last second, nothing will come of it.
Great service there from Hawksdaughter. Sent that one to the back post, perfectly weighted ball. Had a teammate there over the outstretched hand of Eustachio. The Bulls, no, they should have done better with that set piece.
Already see some of you chiming in on the broadcast with your support for the Bulls and the Bearcats tonight. Lincoln Rose, Kit McConico, Despina McLaughlin with you. Great to have you with us here on the American Digital Network. Bulls looking for another opportunity. Bearcats struggling to clear. And bringing a little sanity to it there was Cassie Weldon.
Cincinnati opportunity there in the counter, tried to get numbers forward quickly, but a poor final ball gives it away. For Cincinnati, they have to figure out a way to get some possession. Right now, it is being dominated by the home side.
There was Sydney Martinez with a rare touch here for the freshman early on. Came into this year untested entering the season, but has proven to be reliable for the Bulls. Of course, the Bulls graduating their previous standout goalkeeper, Cat Elliott. A couple of goalkeepers with Ricky Farquharson and Sydney Martinez came into this year, certainly as options, but minimal minutes earlier in their careers.
That was a big question for the Bulls, with the goalkeeper the caliber of Elliott having to replace someone like that between the posts. The young goalkeepers have done a good job.
Kilgore out wide to DiNardo. And the Bearcats will have to settle for a throw.
A rare foray into that final third for Cincinnati. They would be wise to wait and bring numbers up the pitch, and it looks like they're going to try to put a long throw. It'll be coming from Thompson, the freshman from Wisconsin, Metzger to take it.
Yeah, homegrown from Cincinnati. One of the freshmen we'll be talking about tonight for the Bearcats. And misplayed by the Bulls, but not forced to pay.
Missed opportunity there. Had the ball in that final third, had numbers up the pitch, easily cleared away from USF.
Lowell back out wide to Metzger. Right in front of Denise Schulte-Brown. Still can put the boots to some work.
Was an impressive player in her career and has had an equally impressive coaching career.
Wagner with the toss up ahead. Into space, Metzger on it. And she'll concede it back over to USF.
Three still keeps going in now.
Of course, the woman to watch right now is just inside the 18. Evelyn Vienne, number 14 for the Bulls. They can't link up with her just yet.
USF doing the wise thing there. Didn't see an opportunity down the center. Send it back to keep possession, swinging it around.
Looking for Vienne that time. Denied by Lowell. Again, they look for her. Well, let's take this opportunity to check back in with Despina down on the pitch.
Yeah, Lincoln, now it's time. Everybody take your hands to Twitter and social media here on Facebook. We're going to throw our first trivia poll your way. We know it's about homegrown talent here for USF. So here's the question. How many teammates and players are on this USF squad that resigned from the state of Florida? The poll is posted. Let us know what you think, all right? Back to you, Lincoln.
Yeah, of course, it helps make that rivalry with UCF and Orlando that much more bitter, knowing that they're competing for so many Sunshine State high school talents.
Such great high school soccer, club soccer in the state of Florida. So many of these players played with each other, played against each other at those junior levels.
Sabrina Wagner called for the foul. The Newport Richie Floridian had pushed all the way across midfield.
Just a bit late there.
That's one of many Florida versus Ohio matchups. Got to get a swing state rivalry going here.
That's a good ball. You like that one over the top, looking for Kilgore. Kilgore just unable to get on the end of it, but the throw will keep it with the Bearcats.
Who will be able to find the opening goal in this American matchup? In Cincinnati coming off a double overtime draw against Houston after their 18-match home unbeaten streak was snapped by the Mustangs of SMU last week. The Bulls looking to bounce back from a loss in double overtime to Temple after handling UConn on the road. This is the home conference opener for USF. Mentioned they're 4-0 in non-conference play this year here at home. And an opportunity here, one for the Bearcats. The foul that sent Gorman down to the pitch will set up a free kick for her teammates.
Great job here from the sophomore, the native of Cincinnati. Has a nice turn, gets away from the initial defender, draws the foul as the Bull defender comes up the back. And this is a dangerous spot. First dangerous set piece of the night for the Bearcats.
And here's the woman you isolated in Jill Viteri at the top of the broadcast, the senior from Cincinnati. She has the most recent goal. It came against Houston. Took a penalty with 4 seconds left. It was denied. She got the rebound, sent it home with 2 seconds left. That would force overtime.
Bearcats wanted a handball there at the top of the box, but a missed opportunity. Generally not a fan of those short set pieces. Why not send it into the box, put it in the 18, try to find a head, somebody to flick it on goal.
Well, we talk about the youth of Cincinnati and college soccer. It is not the easiest place to get true freshmen up to speed if they're joining you, as most do traditionally, right before the start of the fall. Coaches are not allowed to work out with the team until 2 weeks prior to the start of the season, so you get minimal time together until right before the start of non-conference play.
A lot of off-season workouts, the seniors, the upperclassmen leading those in effect, trying to get those young players up to speed, because you're right, going from high school, and some of these players come from very good high school programs, it is nowhere near the caliber they see at the collegiate level.
Bearcats still managed to win their first 3 matches and 5 of their first 6 in non-conference play. Looking for their second win now here in the American.
It's a good battle shaping up here on this near sideline between Nasello and Metzger.
Along the near touchline. Back to Nasello. She looks ahead, looking to link up with Vienne. And she'll win a corner kick for USF. So another big set piece opportunity for the home Sun.
Good heads-up play from the country's leading scorer. Didn't look like there was much there. Was just able to send it off a defender. Wins the corner.
Evelyn Vienne, the junior from Canada, will be able to deflect this off the Bearcat. In touch off of Metzger.
Again, just a heady play from the junior.
Hawk's daughter. Back post, and just a tad tall for their target. Looking to link up with Blethen.
Second good corner we've seen taken from Hawksdaughter. Put it into a dangerous area to that far post. Went all the way through the 6. No one able to get a touch to it.
Scoreless as we wrap up the 16th minute of play between the Cincinnati Bearcats and the USF Bulls here on the American Digital Network. Bulls giving up a run right down the middle, setting it up out wide onto the boot of Viteri.
And it looks, with the Bulls dominating possession, that the best opportunities for the Bearcats are going to come against the run of play, come in that counterattack. The Bulls have numbers committed forward. Maybe the Bearcats can find some space in the back.
And back in touch for a throw for the visitors.
And for the visitors, the longer this match stays scoreless, the more their confidence will build. They know what a prolific offense USF has and how good they are here at home.
USF coming off that NCAA tournament run where they made it to the second round last year, matching their program's deepest run. As Kelly Burney will win that one back. That is your American Defensive Player of the Week.
Burney, a fantastic outing. Even in that loss to Temple, she played a great 90 minutes.
Bearcats enjoying a little more possession as of late. Just looking for a miscue from that back line of USF. Weldon out wide to Metzger. Has to track it down. And this should be a goal kick for USF.
Great defending from Sabrina Wagner, the sophomore from Newport Richey, Florida. Got to the ball initially, was able to shield it out, wins the goal kick. Very nicely done.
You saw Martinez in frame. only allowing 5 goals so far this year. That's a .78 goals against average for Coach Schulte Brown's starting keeper tonight, including a shutout this year.
Yeah, when you have an offense like the Bulls do, it takes some pressure off your goalkeepers. They can breathe a bit easier, know that they don't have to come up with a clean sheet every time out.
Taking advantage of a numbers game, McGrath takes a shot from 21. It'll spill loose, but Madison Less able to rein it in.
Yeah, well done there from McGrath. Won the ball. No one came up to take her. Took a few extra steps and took the shot, which Les was, fortunately for Cincinnati, able to come up with.
Bulls out shooting Cincinnati early on, 4-0. That's the first time, though, the Bulls have threatened in a while. Many of their opportunities came in the early minutes. Midway through the 20th minute now here in Tampa. That sun did not take long to set. And for those of you who already participated in our first interactive poll of the day, USF 16 total players from their backyard in the Sunshine State.
No reason to travel far for talent. That being said, they have some very impressive international additions as well, and it's a nice mix of Floridians and international players.
Congratulations to the 27% of those tuning in. Able to guess that. If you guessed 17, not far off.
Impressed with the patience of USF. Things didn't go their way early on.
Nasello able to turn, and a remarkable shot from 25 yards out, but Madison Less able to squeeze it in at eye level.
Nicely done from Les. Read it the whole way. Didn't allow a rebound, came up with a clean save.
And Nasello had a hat trick against Florida College. Denied an opening goal there. And now Cincinnati just hoping USF will have a miscue. Bulls will stay here at home this weekend. On Sunday, they host the Pirates of ECU. Bearcats will make about an hour-and-a-half drive over to Orlando. This is a tough swing for Cincinnati. Any points you can capture before leaving the state of Florida is a victory.
They'd be thrilled to pick up a victory. Obviously, I think they'd be content with draws in these matches against USF and UCF. Young teams so good at home, but haven't fared particularly well on the road.
Is Cheyenne Dennis trying to work it to that top level, links up with Vienne.
Another great tackle there from Lowell.
And she is not intimidated by her matchup here tonight.
Sophomore from Ontario has done a very good job. Has come up with 2 big tackles.
This gives us a chance to check back in with Despina.
Yeah, guys, Coach Stafford's backline has been holding strong with all the attacks so far. I asked him how the Cincinnati's team has been so successful against USF. They haven't lost to the team in the last 5 meetings. There's been a couple of ties, but he says you can't compare those teams in the past to the group of young ladies he's putting on the field right now. They're so young and they're still finding their rhythm. So it's a complete crapshoot here this evening and how they will go against USF. But right now, everybody's holding on 0-0, and it's time to take a look now back at social media. We have our second poll for you this evening. We want to know exactly where you were watching this game from. Comment, let us know. Coolest place we're probably going to pull up on air, and you know where we are. We're in Tampa, Florida right now on this gorgeous October night.
Thank you, Despina. And good to see back on her feet, Lowell. Let me say, there's one wrong answer if you chime in where you are. If you say you're watching from Tampa and you have not come out to the pitch to watch this matchup, now if you're on your phone and you're in the crowd, fine.
If you're in Tampa and you're not at Corbett Stadium, something's wrong. You and I had the opportunity to speak with Coach Stafford earlier this week, and he takes great pride in his team being known as a blue-collar, hard-working team. He said that, and I quote, "Talent can never be greater than our work rate." That's something that really the Cincinnati team has been built upon. You think about when he took over, where they were, where they are now. It's because of that blue-collar mentality and because they have players that are willing to buy into his philosophy.
Of course, when you talk to Neil Stafford, you'll detect a little bit of an accent. And I believe he has some family tuning in from Liverpool.
Wonder if that's the blue or the red side.
Now to resume things here, hopefully Kiki Lowell can be reinserted soon enough into the action, as they'll give it back over to USF. Still the only sport you will see this as a sign of sportsmanship.
It's a complete class act. It just speaks to this game we love so much.
Starting to build momentum. Vienne out wide. From the wing, cross, looking for the connection, off the thigh, and Nacello almost able to send one over Les, but Les able to bring it in safely.
Great ball in. The freshman from Land O'Lakes, Florida. She didn't quite know where she wanted to take it. Didn't know if she wanted to put a head to it. Didn't know if she wanted to try to take the volley, and just ended up coming off of her thigh. Easy save for Les.
So Bulls, namely Nacello, have had some opportunities here in the past few minutes as we say farewell to the 23rd minute.
And with all the focus on Vienne, I think there will be opportunities for Nacello. We've seen a few already.
Bearcats will bring DPQ in, her 14th appearance this year off the bench. She's been a nice sub, has already produced a couple of goals and an assist this year, the junior out of Massachusetts.
Yeah, the Bearcats, they'll play a lot of players. They average just over 21 per match seeing the pitch. So they will get numbers on and off quickly, trying to keep fresh legs out there.
When will that first goal rear its head?
Just a bit too much from Hochstadter. Like to see her getting involved. She is that field general, the one who pulls the strings, but had 3 defenders in tow. Needs to get rid of the ball quicker.
Kit, you and I saw 8 goals in Connecticut the other day between UCF and UConn.
And the most interesting thing about that match was the fact that UCF got up 4-0, and then UConn was able to battle back, put 3 across, made it a 1-goal game, ultimately finished 5-3 in favor of the Knights. You never know what's going to happen. You can't take any lead for granted.
UCF was spotted an own goal by the back line of UConn. As Kit mentioned, they would add 3 of their own quickly. Sanders with the hat trick, one of 4 German-produced goals for the Knights in that matchup. This is always a great time of year when these American teams collide.
Conference play is something special in the American. The quality of this conference from top to bottom. Anyone can beat anyone on any given game.
Just enough space for that left foot. It'll curve wide, and simply a goal kick coming up.
That's a great ball to Wagner coming into the top of the box. Excuse me, rather, Nacello again. Who else was it going to be? I think it was Wagner who actually played it, but Nacello, she's been on the spot, has had the best opportunities thus far. Really like that one. Everyone focused in inside the 18, closer to that penalty spot. Nacello comes in, but just couldn't put it on frame.
So again, USF has outshot Cincinnati 5-0, but ultimately the most important stat, dead even. 0-0 on the scoreboard. That could change here with the Bearcats. Even numbers pushing forward. And trying to turn, and a foul won by the Bulls on their back line. Sabrina Wagner, that last line of defense.
But Terry just couldn't time her run. Didn't know if she was going to be the target of that initial ball and was trying to hold back. Didn't want to get in an offside position. Just a bit of miscommunication up top for the Bearcats. You mentioned those 5 shots in favor of USF. 5 shots, but really nothing to trouble Madison Less. Just had to come up with one big save. Everything else has been routine.
That ball into touch right in front of the Bulls bench.
It's just the kind of game that Cincinnati likes. They'll be happy to play this match back and forth. No real opportunities coming for either side. A war of attrition, so to speak. This is a game that they think that they can come away with a draw or maybe even a victory.
Another throw from Costigan. Well, we talked about the Bearcats and their struggle to score first half goals. They've yet to do so in conference play, only 2 total on the year. But trailing 1-0 at the half has not been the worst case scenario for them. Pile up here, Bulls looking for that opener from the top of the 18. And again, back in play is Kiki Lowell.
And again, Lowell there. What a job she's done. Lowell able to deflect it out. She's been all over the pitch defensively. EQ Lowell there crunching Vian. Vian looking for the spot kick, won't get it, but there will be a corner coming for the Bulls.
And it sets up this set piece opportunity for USF. Vian still 3 goals shy of a hat trick tonight.
It's been a frustrating start for Evelyn Vian. Hasn't seen a lot of the ball when she has. Cincinnati's been there quickly to close her down.
Hawks' daughter. Header on and a one-hopper right into the gut as Les positions herself right on that line.
All credit to Madison Less. Nicely taken. Hawks' daughter, that's exactly what you're supposed to do. Head it down at the line. Just didn't have enough power on it. And unfortunately for Hawks' daughter and the Bulls was right at the Bearcats goalkeeper.
At the Bulls' best chance so far to find a lead here at home. Nice turn. The end. Denied point blank again. Kiki Lowell.
Who else but Kiki Lowell? Right now, she is the defensive MVP of this match without a doubt.
Trying to slip one through. That one goes around and ricochets into the back of the netting. I was talking about the Bearcats. They've trailed 1-0 at the half 6 of their first 13 matches this year. But, Kit, their record in those 6 matches, 4 victories, a draw, just 1 loss against UVA.
They're a young team. We've mentioned it numerous times. They've gotten behind in this season numerous times, but they've been able to battle back. And that, to me, speaks volumes of the quality of this team. And that all starts with the head coach, Neil Stafford. These women buy in. They're willing to work hard. They know if they get down 1-0, even 2 or 3-0, the match is far from over.
I mean, how many professional sides do you and I see each summer? If they give up that first goal, the match is over.
It's a great point. And you see these women, they don't shrug their shoulders. They don't hang their heads. And you do that. And you see professional players at every level in the biggest leagues across the world. They concede a goal. The match is, in effect, over. That is not the case here in the American Athletic Conference. They play the full 90 minutes regardless of the score line.
Bearcats have held off the Bulls thus far. They look for the opening goal as it will ultimately go just short. They'll say deflected by the Bulls. Corner kick coming up for the Bearcats. A little sidestep from DiNardo.
Another freshman, DiNardo, does a very nice job eluding the initial defenders, able to put that one on frame, takes a deflection, and now a corner coming.
Could this be the moment that Cincinnati takes a lead on the road here in Tampa? They're going to sneak Lowell in there. for this set piece. They settle for the rebound, and a strike from about 19 yards out will sail high.
They like to put that on frame, force Martinez into a save, but all in all, well done. So one thing the Bearcats have not done, they haven't forced Sidney Martinez into any saves thus far.
Cameron Hartman will come on for the first time today in place of Viteri, who will get a breather for the rest of the half. Hartman, well, odds are she's a freshman, and you'd be right if that was your guess. She's from Bay Village, Ohio. And for the Bulls, Katie Kitching will come out. Kitching, a sophomore from England. So she is fluent in Neil Stafford's language on the opposing bench, presumably. Opportunity. Vienne is inside the box without the ball right now. Can they find her? On it at the moment, Olivia Cook. And this will stay with USF. So at the very least, Evelyn Vienne is garnering the attention of that back line of Cincinnati. It has created opportunities for players like Sydney Nasello to step up. Too tall for Vienne that time. Here is Nasello. Back line not backing down for the Bearcats. This is what Neil Stafford loves to see. Full speed after every 50-50 ball.
That's exactly right. And his defense, his midfielders, everyone doing that right now for Cincinnati. For USF, you like to see Andrea Hochstadter get a bit more involved offensively, try to push her up the pitch in support of Vienne, because Vienne has that full focus of the Bearcats defense, has had very little room to operate.
Bulls will reset things along the back line. Here is Hochstadter, preseason all-conference selection. Every start last year as a sophomore. Every start this year as well. Nice turn, Vienne with space, able to work it around the defender, Lowell, and just enough of a paw on it from Madison Less to keep us scoreless. And too tall on the back post. And the Bearcats still not in the clear. Finally falling on it is Madison Less, but just a moment ago, Vienne almost able to find the ankle.
A great save from Les. You see the quality of Vienne needs very little room to get a shot off. Again, there was Lowell all over him, but had about 3 inches, and that was enough for Evelyn Vienne to put a dangerous shot on the goal of Madison Less.
A little less than 11 minutes to go until the end of the half. And for the Bearcats, a nice start here on the road, shutting down the nation's most prolific offense.
Great idea, and I like that. Vienne playing the distributor as opposed to looking to score herself. If that defense is going to be focused on her, have her pull out, bring the defense with her, and send those balls into the 6.
As we introduce you to Delaney Reister, making her 12th appearance this year, the sophomore out of Indiana. As that'll do it for Vanessa DiNardo's first half. Well, Madison Less has been under attack back in that frame, and she's had the answers so far for each offering, including from several from Sydney Nasello.
Again, Lowell there, just able to shield Nasello, able to shepherd that ball over the end line.
I believe Lowell, one of 3 Canadians for the Bearcats this year.
Right now, I can't say enough about the job the sophomore defender has done. She's been outstanding.
And ultimately the foul called on McGrath.
Starting to see a bit of frustration on that Bulls side. They've had the possession, they've had the shots, but still, the match remains scoreless.
Well, we've got viewers across the ponds. We've got viewers just across the national border up north. Great to have everybody tuning in and really enjoy being able to bring this match to you here on the American Digital Network, along with our other offerings for men's and women's soccer this fall. Of course, we will help make wall-to-wall coverage possible for the women's and men's soccer championships, capped off by our friends at ESPN. Bearcats will bring in Sydney Goins, her 14th appearance this year, the junior out of Cincinnati. Slamming on the brakes, Gorman. Kilgore looking for space. Will send one into the box. This one will sail behind the crossbar.
Kilgore did everything she needed to do. Got around the defender, but just couldn't get the cross in play. Really let the Bulls off on that one.
Having to come back into the midfield for a touch there. If you're a playmaker like Vienne, you want to be able to interact with that ball and sometimes have to work your way back into the midfield. Bearcats, opportunity. This one will just go wide. Not interfering with it. The keeper, Martinez, never got a hand on it. That ball just could not stay within the post.
Reister, the sophomore, a great opportunity there. But as you said, just couldn't keep it inside the post.
That would have opened her account this year.
Cincinnati and Coach Neil Safford have to be very pleased with what they've seen the last few minutes.
Bien. Oh, just tries to work it off that right foot. And Neil Stafford looking on. 6th year at the helm of the Bearcats, 16 years as a college head coach. Last year led his Bearcats to a 3rd place finish, 5 wins, a couple of draws and a pair of losses. One of those wins at the expense of USF in Cincinnati. And there's a big Bearcats fan. Really wanted to see a goal tonight from her granddaughter.
I must say, Coach Stafford and his counterpart, Coach Schulte Brown, both absolute class acts. It's a pleasure to speak with both of them. That one just finds itself over the crossbar.
A grandmother who can figure out Facebook deserves a goal.
Well put. That's impressive. These sides, not just on the pitch, but in the classroom, how well-rounded these teams are. Getting it done in all aspects, all facets of their collegiate experience.
And there's a foul at midfield.
And right now, Cincinnati looking the better side in the last few minutes. They've completely turned the tables. USF came out of the gate strong as we thought they might. Couldn't find the opener. And now Cincinnati looking like they may have a chance to put one in before the halftime whistle.
Lincoln Rose, Kim McConico with you here on the American Digital Network. Despina McLaughlin as well down on the pitch, providing us eyes and ears around the action. And let's check back in with Despina.
Yeah, guys, Coach Schulte Brown is asking her team to rally around an anthem this year, Rise Up. They know they made history last year and going to the 2nd round of the NCAA tournament, but that's not enough. That season's over, and she's making sure the girls know it. It's about building on every game, and that's why she demands so much of them out on the field at the time. Now, right now, we're going to go back to social media with another poll for you guys watching at home or wherever you may be across the pond. We want to know how many players you think are homegrown on the Cincinnati Bearcats roster. I'm talking city limits of Cincinnati, guys.
Yeah, when she says homegrown, she's not even including all of Ohio. She's talking about specifically Cincinnati. By the way, Cincinnati awarded the most recent Major League Soccer franchise, so the love of the sport's just going to continue to grow. They have had tremendous crowds, even as a 2nd division team there with FC Cincinnati. By the way, that was Madison Lindsay showing off her acrobatic touch on the throw. Just didn't measure it quite right.
And nicely done there by Lindsay. A great history of soccer in Cincinnati at the youth, the collegiate, now the professional level. And cheers to FC Cincinnati, the newest member of Major League Soccer. Well deserved, an absolutely fantastic franchise, well run, great performance on the pitch, and fans second to none.
So Madison Lesh just out for a nice stroll, and who could blame her on this beautiful evening in Tampa? Trying to apply some pressure. Cross sent in, almost a miscue, but unable to capitalize, as Sydney Kilgore almost was able to dial up Cameron Hartman. And after catching her breath, Sydney Martinez with a much easier stop.
Great work there from Kilgore. Sends it across just behind her intended target, but Kilgore's been dangerous. She's using her speed to get in behind defenders to make things happen. And again, Cincinnati looking the better side right now. 3 minutes, can they find one before half?
Almost a big mistake by the freshman on the back line, Olivia Cook. One of the Canadians that made their way all the way to the state of Florida for her college soccer. Turned out to be a good thing that she stepped over that ball. Had that deflected off her boot, you may have had Hartman right there to put it home. And I will take grandma shout-outs on Facebook over $5 and a birthday card any day.
That's as good as it gets.
Bearcats from 21 shut down by the back line.
Bearcats looking for a penalty kick there. Referee not pointing to the spot as that one up around the shoulder. It's very difficult to get a referee to point to the penalty spot in that situation.
Final couple of minutes coming up here in this first half. And while the scoreboard says we're even, this is a win right now for Cincinnati.
Without a shadow of a doubt, Cincinnati has played fantastically. They weathered the initial storm. USF was in control early on. They had possession. They had shots on goal. They were able to weather that storm. They've kept it scoreless. And now Cincinnati's the side with the better opportunities.
Rebecca Anderson, one of those 16 players from Florida now, makes her debut in this match, her 9th appearance on the year. Can the Bulls find a goal here in these 90 seconds? And a foul called on the home side.
And if you're Neil Stafford, you'll be pleased to go to the halftime break with this scoreless draw. A lot to build upon for the second half. Your young team playing very well on the road against a team that is unbeaten here at home this season.
Into traffic. Lowell trying to get things redirected. A little urgency for USF. Final 30 seconds here in the opening 45 minutes of play between USF and Cincinnati. Final seconds counting down. It's a half where the Bulls have outshot Cincinnati 13-3. All 6 shots on frame in the first half belong to the Bulls. That does not tell the whole story. This Bearcats back line has had the answer for the most prolific offense in the nation, and we go to halftime tied 0-0. Let's check in with Despina, who's with head coach Denise Schulte-Brown of USF.
Coach, you told me in the beginning of this game you're going to ask your team to play patient. What did you see from them this first half? Is that in that regard?
I think they were patient when they needed to be. I think we created a lot of opportunities, and the problem is when you create that many opportunities and then you don't score a goal, your team starts to tire, and then the playing field becomes a little bit more even. But they did a good job of changing the point of attack multiple times before they went forward. And then when we did get forward, I thought we had some good opportunities, and Cincinnati's defending hard. So,
what will you ask of your team to adjust here in the second half?
I think our runs in the box are very straight. And so the ball is coming in, and we're not, having good opportunities to come. I think we had 3 balls at the back post that we were late to, and the first runner has got to make a diagonal run to the near post. So if our runs in the box are a little bit more dangerous, then we can finish those services. Continue to be patient, because I felt like we were wearing the team down. But at the same time, we were wearing down a little bit too. We came out flying, and then we had this big drop off because we all hit a wall really quickly. So, I think in the second half, we got to work through that, work our legs through that, be patient again, and finish our opportunities.
All right. Thank you, Coach. Good luck to you in the second half.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Despina. As again, USF 4-0 at home this year, looking for critical points to climb up the standings in the American, but they have not been able to find an answer for Madison Less back in goal today for the Bearcats. We'll talk to her head coach, Neil Stafford, right before the start of the second half, but we have reached halftime in Tampa. You're watching live coverage of American women's soccer on the American Digital Network.
In just 5 seasons, storied programs have united as a Power 6 conference. We've watched record breakers, All-Americans, and victories that proved we are not only equal to the best, but often better. Can you imagine what's ahead for this Power 6 conference? We can, because the best way to predict the future is to create the future. The American, powered by determination.
How do you drive impact for 200 years? By doing it boldly. By building a bridge, breaking a barrier, planting a flag, owning a stage. Because here, we learn by doing and believe the status quo was built to be broken. So be proud, be bold, be Cincinnati. We're 2 centuries in, and we're still creating what's next. We are boldly Bearcat.
Strong in mind, strong in body, strong in school, sport, life.
The grind is 10% physical and 90% mental.
The mind is the power.
The body is a means to jump higher, run faster,
be smarter, and live longer.
There is no weakness when it comes to seeking help.
We are stronger together.
So let's talk about it.
A waterfall starts with 1 drop.
Change starts with 1 person.
The American is dedicated to ending the stigma related to mental health
and promoting success through a healthy, powerful mind.
Promoting success through a healthy, powerful mind.
More than 7,000 student athletes rising to become champions in 22 different sports at 13 esteemed institutions across 11 states. 360,000 students and 2.6 million alumni rise up in celebration of a Power 6 conference known as the American, powered by determination.
Power comes in all forms.
Power is a big tackle,
a big save, a clutch hit,
or a game-winning shot.
Power is also standing up for what is right.
There is power in the sportsmanship that is displayed across the American.
Power is respecting opponents,
officials,
student athletes,
coaches, and team representatives.
Power is not tolerating racial or ethnic comments,
profanities, or other improper actions while at the game.
The American.
Power for life.
The American. Power for life.
The American.
Power for life.
Scoreless in Tampa as the Bearcats come to town for their first of 2 matches in the Sunshine State this week. looking to capture some valuable points and climb up the standings. Welcome back inside the broadcast booth. Lincoln Rose along with Kit McConico here on the American Digital Network. And Kit, again, the headlines were a tested Bearcats team, although young, a tough schedule that they've had so far, number 2 in RPI in this conference, against the most prolific offense in the nation, USF, at home in Tampa.
Well, it's pretty much what we thought it would be. USF had the better of possession early on. They had more shots on goal, but they couldn't get one by Madison Lesh. Did a great job defensively. Kiki Lowell there as well for Cincinnati. Then Cincinnati got on the front foot toward the end of the first half. It's going to be very interesting to see who comes out with momentum to start the second 45 minutes.
If you tuned in hoping to catch one of the nation's top scorers, Vienne, find the back of the net, well, you can blame Kiki Lowell, the Canadian, for disappointing you through those first 45 minutes.
You're exactly right. Kiki Lowell, the sophomore from Ontario, is absolutely outstanding. She was following Vienne everywhere across the pitch and was really able to keep her from being a factor in the first half.
Entertaining first 45. We look forward to catching up with Neil Stafford of Cincinnati in the start of the second half as well. You may have noticed this week that, well, the American has started its initiative trying to emphasize mental health awareness. Earlier today, Despina had a chance to catch up with a member of USF Athletics, chatting with Ashley Wilson.
Thanks, guys. I'm joined by Ashley Wilson. She's the co-president of the Student Athletic Advisory Committee here at USF. And this is a pretty big week, right? We're kicking off the start of mental health awareness. Tell me exactly what your initiative is and what you plan to do this coming week.
So it's the Powerful Minds Initiative, and this is the second year that this is in place. And it's basically a mental health awareness for our student athletes and making sure that they know that there's someone there for them.
Yeah, tell me, this is the second year. What stuck around that you guys wanted to continue this program? There's a big need.
So it's a very large need of mental health. I mean, the suicide rates and everything have been up amongst just individuals. And mental health awareness is just a very important topic that just needs to be talked about. So we're just trying to bring light to these issues and make sure that people are aware of them.
And Ashley, I know it just begins here tonight with this soccer match, but there's many more initiatives and I guess stances the whole conference is going to take this week. Can you describe what's going to happen and what we're going to see from the rest of the teams here in the American?
So this week is the kickoff. So a lot of teams throughout the conference will be wearing green, and especially the football games this weekend will have a sticker on their helmets for the mental health awareness with the Powerful Minds hashtag and just keeping on the mental health awareness throughout the week.
All right, and if there's one message you want to let student athletes know about how important it is to make sure they are mentally healthy, what would you like to say to them?
Just everyone to know, like, it's okay to not be okay, and to make sure you know that there's someone there for you to reach out to.
All right, thank you so much. All right, we're going to send it back up to you guys.
And again, we have reached halftime. Scoreless in Tampa between the Bearcats and Bulls. We'll put another 45 minutes on the clock when we return here on the American Digital Network.
In just 5 seasons, storied programs have united as a Power 6 conference. We've watched record breakers, All-Americans, and victories that proved we are not only equal to the best, but often better. Can you imagine what's ahead for this Power 6 conference? We can, because the best way to predict the future is to create the future. The American, powered by determination.
How do you drive impact for 200 years? By doing it boldly. By building a bridge, breaking a barrier, planting a flag, owning a stage. Because here, we learn by doing and believe the status quo was built to be broken. So be proud. Be bold. Be Cincinnati. We're 2 centuries in, and we're still creating what's next. We are boldly Bearcat.
Strong in mind, strong in body, strong in school, sport, life.
The grind is 10% physical and 90% mental.
The mind is the power.
The body is a means to jump higher, run faster,
be smarter, and live longer.
There is no weakness when it comes to seeking help.
We are stronger together.
So let's talk about it.
A waterfall starts with 1 drop.
Change starts with one person.
The American is dedicated to ending the stigma related to mental health
and promoting success through a healthy, powerful mind.
Promoting success through a healthy, powerful mind.
more than 7,000 student athletes rising to become champions in 22 different sports at 13 esteemed institutions across 11 states. 360,000 students and 2.6 million alumni rise up in celebration of a Power Six conference known as the American, powered by determination.
Power comes in all forms.
Power is a big tackle, a big save, a clutch hit,
or a game-winning shot.
Power is also standing up for what is right.
There is power in the sportsmanship that is displayed across the American.
Power is respecting opponents,
Officials,
student athletes,
Coaches and team representatives.
power is not tolerating racial or ethnic comments,
profanities, or other improper actions while at the game.
The American.
Power for life.
The American, power for life.
The American,
Power for life.
Again, back at Corbett Stadium, as right now the Bulls and Bearcats locked up at 0 goals apiece. A reminder, still plenty more to come this fall here on the American Digital Network. Kit, you and I will shift our attention to Dallas, Texas, as the men of Tampa make their way in conference play for that big matchup. SMU, of course, last year regular season champs, tournament title as well, but they have lost a lot of players, both to the pros and to graduation.
That's going to be a fantastic match. USF and SMU both play a very attractive brand of soccer. It is up-tempo, high-octane. Make sure to tune in for that one Saturday evening.
Our next women's soccer match will feature the great rivalry here in Florida between UCF and USF. That'll be near the end of the month. Before then, we have more volleyball. Last year's regular season champs, Wichita State, against the Bearcats. That could be an entertaining one coming up in a couple of Sundays. And, of course, the men's and women's cross-country championships on October 25th. And then back to men's soccer, more between SMU and UConn. That could have implications on perhaps who is hosting the men's tournament before it's all said and done. So a great schedule coming up here on the American Digital Network. But the first 45 of our match saw 6 saves from Madison Less and a shutout pitched from this defense of the Bearcats.
Madison Less and the defense in front of her for Cincinnati were absolutely outstanding. A lot of pressure, possession, shots on goal for USF, but ultimately couldn't break the Bearcats defense down.
USF with 13 shots. That was one of 6 shots on goal. Quite a few opportunities for Sydney Nacello as Evelyn Vienne was attracting some numbers there on that back line. There you see Evelyn. They're back out of the locker room, ready for their second 45 minutes of play. But the question is, will it be the Bearcats or the Bulls that can finally get the scoring started? I know if the next person we hear from had a vote, it would be the Bearcats. That's because head coach Neil Stafford is now with Despina.
Coach Stafford, your defense played exceptional there in the first half. Talk to me about your back line and your goalkeeper here and what you're asking them to do for the next 45 minutes.
Well, I think it starts from the front. I mean, I think defensively we've been incredibly organized. I think USF's had some great movement, but we've just stayed disciplined. We passed players on, and I've been really, really proud. 6 freshmen saw the field. So to see that sort of defensive performance, really happy about that.
And your goalkeeper, sophomore here, Madison Less.
Yeah.
Tell me, how was she able to make those stops here in the first half?
I mean, that's Madison. I mean, she's arguably the, I thought, goalkeeper of the year last year as a freshman. So we're just really proud of what the players are doing as a group, as a unit, and we'll just give it our best shot. But when our team plays like that, you'll have no complaints from me.
All right, Coach. Good luck to you the rest of the way.
Thank you.
All right, Despina, thank you very much. Great opportunity there to hear from both head coaches. There, Neil Stafford of Cincinnati before the half, Denise Schulte-Brown. Your thoughts going into the second 45?
Well, for USF, they have to figure out a way to get back to the way they played early in this match. They were dominant in the first 15, 20 minutes. They had the ball. They were putting pressure on Cincinnati. They were getting shots. They weren't able to get one by Madison Less, but you got the feeling that opener may be coming. And then as Coach Schulte-Brown said at the beginning of halftime when Despina interviewed her, there was a bit of a lull, and they didn't have that same level of energy. They weren't able to recapture it in the first half. We'll see if they can here to start the second. For Cincinnati, it was quite the opposite. They weathered the storm early in that first half. They kept it scoreless. They didn't see much of the ball, and then about halfway through started to see more of the ball, started to get numbers forward. They were getting shots on Martinez. We'll see if they can find the opener. Right now, I think there's all to play for. This is going to be a fantastic second half.
Bearcats had the answer for number 14 in the green and gold, as well as her teammates there in the first half. Again, we talk so much about Evelyn, but what Sydney Nasello provided them were plenty of chances. She has 3 goals, 4 assists this year. All 3 of those goals coming against Florida College in that matchup recently. But they're trying to keep those smiles on some of their fans' faces.
Well, the fans treated to a fantastically entertaining match. No goals, but it has been box-to-box action. A beautiful night here in Tampa. I anticipate the second half much as we saw the first, but I have a feeling we're going to see some goals. I don't think this is going to remain scoreless for another 45 minutes.
Look forward to checking back in with Despina. There will be a few more chances for those of you tuning in to interact with the broadcast and flex some of your soccer knowledge. In fact, we have one outstanding question so far. The last one that Despina asked you was how many homegrown players literally from Cincinnati city limits are on this Cincinnati squad. As
not the state of Ohio, because there are a lot from Ohio.
I assume Neil Stafford maximizes his recruiting budget, but he's got a little leeway probably with it, as he does not have to go far very often.
Both these teams with a lot of homegrown talent, so to speak, a lot of local talent.
Bearcats with 9 players from Cincinnati, 19 from the state of Ohio.
Both Florida and Ohio producing great players, both in the men's and women's game. You mix in a few international players. That is a very impressive side.
Physical one here. Again, a midweek matchup. Both these teams are going to sleep well. Of course, the Bulls will go back to class tomorrow. They hope with 3 more points in the standings. Just their 3rd match in conference play. Bulls still have that big rivalry to look forward to at the end of this month, as well as a trip to red-hot Memphis.
The Tigers have been on fire this season. For USF, they've got to pick the energy level back up. They're not winning those 50-50 balls, or they weren't at the end of the first half. They were just a bit slower, and obviously, you know, fatigue is a factor. You get towards the end of the half. We'll see how they come out here to start the second.
Hawk's daughter will give it up. Bearcats down the middle. This is DiNardo. Left-footed delivery, just parried out wide. First shot of the day belongs to DiNardo, and it is almost enough to give the Bearcats the lead.
Another impressive freshman for the Bearcats, and DiNardo. Vanessa DiNardo did a great job, won that ball back in a dangerous area and forced Sydney Martinez into a fantastic save.
Kitching for the Bulls as a couple of dance partners. And just looking for that quick deflection from Vienne, but could not get the big toe on it. Kitching tried to go right, tried to go left, tried to go between the 2 defenders, finally found room to advance that ball to Vienne, who just could not correct the course of it in time to get it around Madison Less.
Mentioned the box-to-box action. That's exactly what we've seen here. An opportunity for Cincinnati on one side and USF right down the pitch. Quickly, another opportunity for the Bulls.
And we'll see USF men's team in Dallas on Saturday. You love to see a campus with great success on both the women's and men's sides here in Division I.
They feed off each other. They build off each other. If the men's team is doing well, the women's team knows that. Vice versa.
Back to Kitching. Evelyn Vienne. And they'll call her for a foul. And this may be a yellow for Evelyn.
Yeah, Vienne has to be careful. That was frustration for sure. Lost the ball. The official is going to go over and have a quick word. It does not appear that she will end up in the book.
Yeah, I think frustration is the key word there. As frustrating her all of this evening on that back line, Kiki Lowell.
That's been a battle from the opening whistle of this match between Lowell and Vienne.
Again, just think about it. A player who is averaging more than a goal per match this year.
She's ranked in the top 5 nationally in 4 categories. She's in the top 10 in 2 more. Just amazing. Goals per game at just under 1.5. Leads the nation in points per game as well.
And this one just deflected wide. Things starting to get interesting here in the final third. That time, Aubrey McGrath trying to locate her 5th goal this year.
Again, Vienne there. All the defense focused on number 14 in green. That allowed space for McGrath.
But that was Madison Lindsay, a freshman for the Bearcats on that back line, just making her 6th appearance on the year. And she's able to slide from one attacker to another, altering that ball and taking some pressure off her keeper.
Yeah, cheers to Lindsay, doing a very good job, and had to in that situation, or that one may have well found the back of the net.
Well, this is the way they want to link up for the goal eventually, going through Katie Kitching on the right wing. Another expert tackle.
Kitching doing a good job, and it looks like when they find the sophomore from England, she's able to widen things a bit, find some space, and the Bulls trying to get numbers in behind her when she swings that cross in.
Sydney Goins. All the way back to Les. Again, our goalkeepers tonight, a sophomore in Les, a freshman in Martinez. They're going to be a lot of fun to follow for the next few years.
Well, Neil Stafford said it, it's year 1 of phase 2, so to speak. So many young players on this team, and so many of them seen action. Rare that you see that in Division I soccer, especially in a conference as good as the American.
Bearcats not content with a 0-0 draw tonight. Already found their first shot of the match earlier this half. Looking for the perfect opportunity, denied from 19 yards out.
You see all the green jerseys back behind the ball, everyone defending.
As this one curving off PQ. And squeezed in by the aforementioned freshman goalkeeper, Sydney Martinez.
What a difference from early in this match when USF was having their way, getting all the numbers forward. Cheyenne Dennis was up around the midfield stripe. Now she's back at the top of the 18.
Able to turn to Nardo. Out to Gorman. And Gorman will send one around the frame. It'll ricochet into the back of the net. We remain 0-0.
It's a good ball played from DiNardo. Found Gorman. Gorman took a shot from distance. That one is a lot closer than it looked.
From about 22 yards out.
Good ball into space. Trying to find, and it does find the intended target.
As Cook, the freshman, was able to sneak it inside the 18, but nothing doing.
You like that idea, sending it down the line, looking for Cook. The defender was able to get to it initially, but Cook won it in the end.
Marcelo was trying to link up with Cook.
Coach Schulte Brown mentioned at halftime, like to see more diagonal runs into the box, less straight, less direct runs coming into the top of the 18. Looks like that's something that USF is really trying to focus on in that final ball.
Well, again, USF is outscoring their opponents this year 27-6. But right now we are even. The Bearcats being outscored in conference play 10-3, and overall this year 21-14. We mentioned they have played a handful of top 25 foes, including the Bulls here tonight. That includes a draw with 16th ranked Jayhawks of Kansas, a tough battle with UVA as well as Auburn of the ACC and SEC.
The good news for Cincinnati is they've gotten down numerous times this season. They've been able to battle back in a lot of those, but so far they have not put themselves in that hole tonight.
Deflected and still well read by Les. As Evelyn Vienne, almost a moment ago, off her temple, able to deflect it in for a goal. Les read it well the entire way. Gorman. It'll be a corner kick here for Cincinnati.
That time Gorman playing the distributor to DiNardo. You like that combination, a good link play between numbers 5 and 6 for the Bearcats.
And I correct myself, it'll be a goal kick. Waiting for the substitution to go through. And actually, I'll correct myself one more time. A foul call. '57th minute underway here in the American. Bearcats and Bulls. Kitching sends it in, back post. And this will be a corner kick as that back line of the Bearcats heads it out. That's Bree Costigan, the last to touch it, your center back.
A fantastic job from Costigan. Great service from Kitching. Put it to the far post. Had a teammate lurking, and Costigan had to send it out for the corner.
So Hawksdaughter, 4 assists this year, had 8 last season. And the junior from Iceland gets something started on this set piece. It's a modified angle for her. Dribble inside the 18, looking for that header, but again, not backing down for the Bearcats. Cassie Weldon. The senior from Waterloo, Ontario, Canada, will put an end to this threat.
A nicely taken short corner there. The service from the corners has been fantastic from Hawksdaughter.
And to continue the Canadian trend, freshman from Hamilton, home of those Tiger Cats, Nia Palongo. And they'll keep it low. Deja vu.
Interesting that the Bulls are electing to go with these short corners, considering the 3 that they had in the first half were beautifully served to the back post. They were just unable to get somebody to them. Bearcats weren't able to do anything with it either. You figured they would continue to try to serve those balls into the 6.
Sabrina Wagner jogs out to the midfield. Just looking for a mistake from that back line of Cincinnati. None as of yet. And a foul will be awarded just beyond 30 yards.
You saw the immediate reaction from Goins, knew it as soon as she put her boot out there, and this is going to be a dangerous free kick. Who else but Andrea Hawksdaughter will step up to take it. Member of the Iceland national team.
A great look right there. Cincinnati got the first touch. The Bulls still had a chance, but in the end, the result the same, 0-0.
I believe it was Vian who had the last touch to it. That one came through and found the nation's leading goal scorer.
Yeah, her left boot just off the mark.
She was surprised that one was able to find her through the forest. Couldn't put it on frame.
.50-50 ball. And with the goalkeeper well off her line, that was an open frame and an opportunity for Viteri.
Viteri, the chance in transition. Martinez off her line, but Viteri just couldn't chip it up and over.
Again, Viteri, the last Bearcat to score this season. The other night against Houston, with 2 seconds to spare to force overtime.
Had her penalty kick blocked. It was rebounded right to her and was able to bury it against the Cougars. For the Bearcats, the opportunities, they've seen opportunities in transition. They're getting numbers forward for USF. Cincinnati doing a very good job recognizing that and countering quickly.
Let's check back in with Despina.
Guys, a tight contest tonight, and certainly very close games between these two programs over the last 5, 6, 7 years. So we turn back to social media with another poll question for you guys. We're really going to quiz you here. How many times have these two teams, Cincinnati and USF, when they met up with the American Conference Tournament, did their game result in going to PKs? We've got a few years for you guys in that poll, but we want to hear what you think. Go ahead and take to social media, Facebook, and of course the boys in the booth will visit that later in the show.
Yeah, Despina, there have already been several classics between these two programs. Again, they have met 3 times in the conference tournament. But Despina's question to you is, how many times have those matchups gone beyond overtime and had to be settled in a shootout to advance one team or another? Of course, no shootout tonight.
I was about to say, that's the only disappointing thing from my point of view if this does end in a draw.
And during the regular season, the most we can see is 110 minutes and award each side a point. Pushing along is Kilgore. Linking up with DiNardo, and Bearcats will maintain this opportunity.
There is the speed of Kilgore, just able to leave her defender in the dust.
Brandy Thompson, the freshman out of Wisconsin, got the start today in the midfield. She'll make her debut in the second half in place of Sydney Goins. Goins out of Oak Hill from Cincinnati. We have seen several moments where an innocent touch could have led to an accidental goal of sorts. In fact, so many other matches it would have. But tonight, a few miscues or a few of even fortunate chances just haven't panned out for goals.
You said it, and I think a match as tightly contested as this one, it may well be a miscue that leads to the opener.
But just letting that ball take an extra bounce in front of you inside the 18, but so far nobody able to clean up.
I think that's one thing both coaching staffs would like to see a bit of an improvement upon, and that's the finishing.
Within 20, takes the shot, a screamer to the near post, off the foot of Cook. That's a defender pushing all the way up.
I say an improvement on the finishing. I don't know if that's possible as well as these goalkeepers have played this evening.
Martinez watches this ball and measures it. That post found her.
But again, Kilgore there making things happen, using her speed to put pressure on the Bulls' defense. I think that's the ticket for the Bearcats. Figure out a way to keep getting the ball to number 9 in space.
Bulls will start to build from the back once again. Over an hour complete here this evening between these two sides. As USF will bring Leah Furlan in for her 9th match of the year, the sophomore from Jacksonville.
Furlan comes on for Kitching. No doubt we'll get a quick break and then be back on.
And quickly, Bulls win a foul. Well, we've seen Hawksdotter get almost every angle on a ball you can get, whether it be a corner or free kicks. See that captain's armband. The right footer. Into traffic. And Vienne gets a second bite at the apple.
Absolutely perfect service from Hawksdotter that time. Puts it right where you want to in a free kick, just about at the penalty spot. Vienne just unable to wrap it around Sophie Gorman. Sometimes in matches like this, you get the feeling that one side will be playing for the draw. That's not been the case tonight. Both these teams looking for the full 3 points.
Ball recovered by Madison Lindsay.
Good ball to Kilgore.
A year ago, Madison Lindsay probably isn't making this trip, was not often on the travel roster, but you talk about a young woman who has made great strides and now has become a big part of this Bearcats lineup.
Lindsay's really picked up her quality of play recently, and especially this season. That last ball, good ball into space. It found Kilgore, and credit to Martinez, quickly off her line and out of her box to clear the danger.
Now, how many venues have a berm you can run down and build momentum on your throw-in? Martinez will squeeze it in after the theatrics. McGrath will give it away to Huber.
Looking for that searching diagonal ball. Huber read it well. For USF, got to get something better out of that situation. Either keep possession until the defense comes up to press, or send that ball just a bit earlier down that line.
These two teams are even on shots now here in the second half. It's 6 shots apiece in the second half after USF dominated the opening 45. Bulls looking for that opening strike. Initial shot denied, and a rebound won't go either. Bearcats have it covered.
Again, the defense of Cincinnati stands strong. You see the reaction from Coach Schulte Brown. There's a Bull down at the top of the 6-yard box. And a Lowell down as well.
Physical on both ends. Both teams took some bruises. Bulls would get 2 chances here. As ultimately the first would come from Nasello, and then the rebound denied a moment later.
And you saw the card come out first time in the match, and I believe that is going to go to Kiki Lowell. We'll have to confirm that that is indeed the case. Furlan tried to get on top of it and had a big collision there at the top of the box.
Cincinnati and USF each with 3 shots on goal here in the second half. It's been a level play since coming out of the locker room. Hawksdaughter, another set piece. Back post. This one will go home for the Bulls. USF has the lead they've been looking for all night long. And it comes from Brianna Blethen.
Blethen with the header, but all credit to Andrea Hawksdaughter. Another beautifully served ball into the box. Put it on a platter for Blethen and just had to knock it in past the goalkeeper. Hawksdaughter, she was our key player in this match for USF. Her service from set pieces has been outstanding. Bulls fans pleased with the opener.
Oh, those defensive players love their chances on set pieces. Blethen, the junior defender out of Bradenton here in Florida, her second goal on the year. Now it's the Bearcats on the opposite end with a free kick.
Defense has been standing strong up until that moment for Cincinnati, but now 22 minutes remaining, they're going to have to get the offense in gear.
Longo with the first touch, still have not been able to clear. Bearcats looking for that equalizer. It was that 10th shot on goal tonight for the Bulls that proved to be the one they needed.
Kilgore there, dangerous, around the defender with ease, but her cross just not on target.
So Gruenbaum will come back on to fortify the right side of that back line for the Bearcats. They cannot afford to fall behind by multiple goals. And again, you see your votes as to how many matches between these two in the conference tournament postseason have gone to a shootout. They met 3 straight years in the quarterfinals in 2014, the championship in 2015, and the first round 2 years ago. Twice these two have gone to a shootout. Cincinnati captured its American championship after a 1-1 draw in regulation in 2015, taking the shootout 4-2. And then in first round 2 years ago, USF would advance on PKs. Well, right now, the Bulls have zero interest in a shootout, let alone in overtime. Of course, the shootout unavailable here in the regular season. Martinez will watch that one go across the face of her frame.
Cincinnati doing everything they can to find the equalizer. Kilgore using that speed to find open spaces on the far sideline. Neil Stafford's team, no stranger to being down in matches this season, but less than 20 minutes remaining. Not a lot of time.
Well, you say not a lot of time. They were trailing 1-0, 89 minutes and 58 seconds to go against Houston.
They won a penalty kick, and ultimately Terry was able to equalize from the spot. So I guess if you're Cincinnati, this is all kinds of time.
Bulls looking for insurance. Vienne would be a likely source, and Madison Les has another answer for her.
Nicely done by Les, but it appeared that Vienne initially didn't know if she wanted to lay that one off to her teammate running into the box or take the shot. I think that hesitation contributed there to the shot that just found itself easily collected by Les.
8 shots from Vienne this evening. But the Bearcats have kept her as quiet as you could hope. Now Kiki Lowell is playing on a yellow, but she's been a big reason for why we were scoreless for so long.
A rare scoreless outing thus far for Evelyn Vienne. 1.38 goals per game. That is her average.
Vienne with 3 Bearcats. Odds still in her favor. The most prolific scorer in the NCAA this year leaves her mark in the back of the net.
And there's a reason Evelyn Vienne leads the country in scoring and points per game. It is because of her finishing ability. What a strike. I thought initially she may lay it off as there were 2 defenders with her, not phasing. The Canadian absolutely blisters it past Les. A stunning strike to make it 2-0 for the Bulls.
That gives her a dozen for the season.
That is a clinical finish.
All eyes of that Bearcats back line are on her, and in return, Evelyn lets them know you can't see me.
2 defenders there, wasn't phased. And just outstanding as she curled it towards that far post.
This is not your typical 2-0 affair. Bearcats trying to pull one back. Hartman. What a relief to have insurance in a tight match. It's a Bearcats team that had only conceded 3 goals all season after halftime. They've already given up 2 now here after the hour mark to USF.
And that second goal, the insurance goal, makes such a huge difference. Your team able to take a deep breath, especially your goalkeeper and defense.
I want to clarify, that's 3 goals within conference play after half. The majority of those conference goals had come in the opening 45.
See USF much more comfortable now with the 2-0 advantage, knocking the ball around a bit, second to catch their breath.
You contrast how the Bearcats overall this season had been outscored in the first half 12-2, but after halftime have outscored opponents 12-9. They've been a second half team. And tonight looked just as strong in the second half up until those last 2 goals.
They did, they absolutely did. Offensively, defensively, it was a very impressive performance through the first 60 minutes. But as any coach will tell you, you have to play the full 90. 60, 70, 80, sometimes even 89 minutes, not enough to get the result.
Bearcats just need to take it 1 goal at a time. Wrapping up with the 75th minute. And the Bulls just going to throw numbers at Kilgore.
Very well defended by Wagner. Sabrina Wagner, she's seen the pace of Kilgore, knows what she can do, just didn't stab at it, didn't make a poor attempt, waited it out and found an opportunity to win the ball.
Remember that regardless of the outcome tonight, the Bearcats get to linger around in Florida a couple more days. Take the trip over to Orlando. Pretty sure there's an interstate called I-4 that they will be familiar with. And they will square off against last year's regular season champs and the team that USF toppled in a shootout in last year's final. Talking about the Knights of UCF. DiNardo. Oh, and just at the last second on her backside. No, it is a foul in the box and a penalty coming up.
And that's a good call from our official. Bernie, the reigning conference defensive player of the week, just got enough of DiNardo. You saw DiNardo's slip was clipped after she cut back around Kelly Burney. Here's another look. And there it is, clear. DiNardo didn't go down initially. It took a second, but the foul certainly affected her. That is the correct call in my estimation.
This will be the first time this year Costigan attempts a PK. It's the first PK surrendered by the Bulls this year. Big test for Martinez in goal. Bearcats are 1 for 2 on penalties converted this season. And this is a matchup that never favors the keeper, left guessing back in frame.
Don't really have the opportunity to react, just have to pick a side and go with it.
You have to put this ball on frame. If this doesn't go in, it has to be because the goalkeeper stops it. And we are back within 1 goal separating these two sides. Martinez guessed right, still could not deny that one.
That is a perfect penalty, as you will see. Bree Costigan absolutely doing it. That is a clinical penalty kick right there. That is a masterclass from the spot, low and hard to a post, finds the side netting. As you saw, Martinez picked correctly, but still couldn't get to it.
She joins Cassie Weldon as the only 2 Bearcats to convert penalties this year, as the first goal on the season for the center back, Bree Costigan.
And all of a sudden, this match, very interesting. USF thought they had it about halfway in the bag with a 2-0 advantage. Now it's cut back to a goal and still plenty of time. 12.5 remaining. It'll be interesting to see how the Bulls react. Do they drop back? Are they going to park the bus? Or are they going to continue to play the way they have all season? Keep numbers forward, keep pressing, and try to find that 3rd goal.
And Kiki Lowell returns for the first time since being awarded the yellow card. As they will do everything they can to make sure that this remains just a 1-goal deficit.
I mentioned when we were coming out to start the second half and it was scoreless. I had a feeling we were going to see goals. Indeed we have, and it may not be done just yet.
Some nifty footwork from Cameron Hartman. Costigan, fresh off her goal scored, now back to her day job on that back line. Pestana. And a big set piece opportunity for the Bearcats. Time for the Bulls to make sure they have crossed their T's, dotted their I's, and are organized on that back line.
Keep an eye on number 17 in white, the 5'9" sophomore. We've called her name out multiple times for what she's done defensively. Has good aerial prowess in these set piece situations.
They'll send it in. And Martinez easily will handle that one after the freshman tried to head it her way. "11 minutes for the Bearcats to complete a comeback, or for the Bulls perhaps to capture 3 points and continue to climb up the standings after being your preseason pick at number 2 in this conference.
What a match this has been. Even when we were scoreless at the end of the first half, it was entertaining. Now that we've found the 3 goals here in the second, even more so. I like what Cincinnati's doing. They're not pressing, no reason to. Still over 10 minutes remaining. Just play smart. You'll see the ball. You'll have opportunities.
A giveaway. Can the Bulls open this one back up? Burrows will just chip one towards Madison Less.
Had that ball been played to Burrows accurately, she would have been in on goal instead.
And I think they're going to say that Les may have stepped over the inline.
Les's body is allowed to be out of bounds. It's where she comes into contact with the ball. So they're going to say that she made the save when she caught the ball. Her hands in the ball were out of bounds.
And again, unlike a lot of sports, it's not about her feet. It's where that ball is.
And it looked from that replay that that was indeed the correct call.
Hawk's daughter, already 1 assist. Bearcats will take first contact from Lowell every time, but cannot completely clear. Oh, a giveaway. And that's not where you want it to land. Hawk's daughter deflects it, but just one.
The Bearcats are very lucky that it is not 3-1 in favor of the Bulls.
A ball landed at the feet of Vienne. She sends it right back to the junior. And they send it through the wickets. The deflection off of Grunenbaum.
Slow to close down Hawk's daughter. Conceding the corner, the best possible option there.
Up 2-1. And just not ready for that ball to land at her feet. Chip from 18 is high, ultimately for Wagner.
Ball just fell out in the path of Sabrina Wagner and couldn't keep it on frame. It's leaned back and the ball soared over the crossbar.
Fresh legs, reinforcements coming up soon for both sides for the final 7.5-minute push.
Nice tackle there from Pestana, won that ball initially.
Well, Cincinnati's going to reinsert Weldon as well as DiNardo. Fellow starter Gruenbaum will come out.
DiNardo's done a great job when she's had the ball. She's also played well as a distributor.
Yingzhan, the lone native of China, will come out after some solid minutes as well.
See all the green jerseys back behind the ball. Everyone taking care of their defensive responsibilities first and foremost.
Yeah, oh, they will let her play on. Nope. Got the whistle. Right now, this clock in Tampa favoring the Bulls. We were scoreless at the half. 3 goals have already reared their head here since both teams emerged from the locker room.
Bulls looking for that insurance goal yet again, not content. Or would you imagine they would be with just a 1-goal advantage?
Bree Blethen got the scoring started midway in that 69th minute. We had been scoreless until then. Hawk's daughter was able to dial her up. Blethen, her 2nd goal on the year with that header. And of course, Vienne would find her 12th goal in the midst of the 73rd minute, making it 2-0. The Bearcats would win a penalty, able to convert, as Bree Costigan sending a screamer past Martinez. That has us at our current tally of 2-1. Bulls right now in the offensive third.
USF has done a good job of taking some air out of the ball, slowing things down, using the clock, but not completely getting out of their offensive rhythm. And that's a very difficult tightrope to walk. They've done so skillfully.
Bearcats win this one back. Let's check back in with Despina down on the pitch.
Yeah, Lincoln, I know we only have a few more minutes left in this one, but I'm going to ask you to go to social media, friends. Go to Facebook. Let us know who you think deserves MVP honors for this match. I know there's still a lot of time, and we have 3 different scores, not to mention all the goalkeepers and the way they've been protecting all night long. I know this one is going to come down to the wire, guys.
Yeah, this is where we welcome the help of everybody else who's been tuned in throughout the first 86.5 minutes so far, as Despina will have a chance to talk to the winning head coach, as well as one of our top student athletes. Bulls looking for the full 3 points. Bearcats hoping to shut them down here and find an equalizer in the closing minutes, just as they did against Houston.
Good cases to be made for a lot of these players, not just the goal scorers.
It's a night where they have forced 10 saves from Madison Less. Bulls with 24 shots total in this match. And they'll go all the way back to Martinez, just taking time off this clock. Delaney Reister, the most recent substitution for the Bearcats, for Vanessa DiNardo. PQ able to turn.
Good tackle there from Bernie. Comes in, goes to ground, able to knock it out into touch. She was the one who conceded that penalty, the lone goal for the Bearcats.
Kitching, not going to force anything. A ball to run on for PQ. Looking for the equalizer. And Martinez has an answer for a late opportunity from Cincinnati.
Well done by Martinez. PQ looked over to her right, didn't have anyone with her. Tried to measure it and bend it into that far post.
That's just Sydney Nasello wanting it more. Can't let this ball linger.
Well, you're exactly right. For USF, they just need to send this ball up the pitch, but instead they concede a corner.
Weldon. Bearcats denied by the team save on the back line. Oh, Martinez gets a little help from her friends, as that appeared to be Hawksdotter.
Hawksdotter has done it all offensively and now defensively. Clears the tying goal off the line. Had Martinez beat. Andrea Hawksdaughter on the spot.
Final seconds counting down in Tampa. 5 seconds to go. The Bearcats so close to finding an equalizer in the final seconds for a second straight match. Instead, the Bulls will take all 3 points as USF now 2-1 in the American to start conference play. And of course 5-0 here in Tampa. Let's check in with Despina. She's with a very happy head coach, Denise Schulte Brown.
And her first accolade here is to the fans giving their support.
Fans, they just want to be on TV.
Well, they got a great match. I mean, how hard was your heart beating these final minutes to make sure that your D-line, your back line, got that ball out?
The D-line is okay too. No, they did a great job. Obviously, Cincinnati kept the pressure on to the final minutes, which we expect nothing less, but you got to be composed in those minutes, and they did a good job. Proud of them to shut the door.
You were worried about your team's energy in the first half. What did you see here in the final 45 to seal this one up?
You know, it wasn't a slow-paced game. It continued to keep this kind of high pace, so I think it was, on both teams, it was very taxing, and we did a lot of subbing, and that can be very kind of, you don't get in a very good rhythm. So I thought the girls handled that well. I think as a staff, we probably could have slowed that down a little bit. It would have helped us get some rhythm, but we were worried about the legs at times.
From your perspective, what opened up near that 78th minute for your offense to finally penetrate?
I mean, I think they were knocking on the door the whole game, and it was just a matter of time before one was going to get in there. I think Bree has actually probably had like 3 or 4 good opportunities like that, so it was nice to reward that opportunity.
And lastly, you reward your fans with another home victory. You stay undefeated here inside this stadium. What's that feel like?
That's great. I didn't know that statistic, but it is good. I do feel like the girls have worked hard for it, and I love Corbett. Excited to be here.
Undefeated this season, to be sure. Good luck the rest of the way, Coach.
Thank you. Go Bulls.
Despina, thank you. We'll hear from a student athlete soon enough, but Hawksdaughter, a big assist on the first goal, but perhaps no moment bigger than what she did on that goal line to support Martinez.
She was our key player coming into this match. What a game she had. The midfield general really controlled things offensively, defensively, the pace of play, assisted on that first goal from the free kick, and then cleared it off the line in the final seconds to keep the win for the home side.
But in the stat sheet, the game-winning goal, the second goal of the Bulls in the second half, belonged to Vienne. Her 12th goal on the year, her 3rd game winner. Despina?
Yeah, Evelyn, we could tell you were getting a little frustrated out there. You kept attacking and kept attacking. What did you see there in that 73rd minute that finally opened up?
I don't know, I just tried it, then it went in, so I was happy. But I took so many shots tonight, so I need to work on that. But I think that last one we needed 2-0 lead, and because of that we won. So I think it's a great comeback.
Coach said she asked from you guys to be patient in this contest. It paid off at the end. What does this win mean, especially coming back after Temple, the loss?
I mean, Temple game was something that we want to forget and want to move on. So I think today we show up, we perform well. We just needed to put some goal in, and I think second half we stay patient and we put it on. So that's a great win tonight.
And I think we got to give some credit to your freshman goalkeeper here. Tell me about her tremendous performance tonight.
Sid is helping us since the beginning of the year. She's amazing. She's a great goalkeeper, every aspect. So we're happy to have her, and she's so tall that she can save everything. We're really happy to have her with us.
You, of course, don't have too much time to rest. East Carolina comes in town on Sunday. What's your biggest takeaway from this contest heading into Sunday?
I think we control the game well. We need to perform the same way. We know ECU, every time they come to home, they want to battle. So we know that's going to be a hard game, but we need to be ready for getting the win on Sunday.
All right, congratulations. All right, Evelyn, we'll see you down the stretch.
Thank you.
Well, to finish, Despina, thank you again. As the 90 minutes, the classic, when it's all said and done, 3 goals all in the second half. Vienne finds her 12th goal on the year, continues to pace the nation in goals per match on the season. Tip of the hat to Madison Less in goal for the Bearcats tonight. Both goalkeepers brilliant, but in the end, 2-1 the final. The Bulls of USF improved to 2-1, victorious here at home, where they are still perfect 5-0. Our next broadcast on the American Digital Network this Saturday in Dallas, Texas, men's soccer, as the Mustangs welcome the Bulls on the men's side. But tonight, the Bulls celebrate. They'll enjoy their classes tomorrow on campus. For Despina McLaughlin, Kit McConnell, Gwen Lincoln Rose, big thank you to our entire ADN crew. USF victorious 2-1.
I've watched too much soccer with Edward Cartier.
Yeah, that's not the way it works.
So he's like, that defensive midfielder controlled. Like, you're correct.